back to the channel. So if this is your first time here, my name is Melvin Castillo and I am a photographer and a videographer based out of Southern California. My wife and I are also building out a bus, so if you guys haven't seen any of those videos, I'll link them down in the description and check it out. So you clicked on this video wanting to know how the 100K race in Zion was. This is just going to be a recap of my whole race, and we're going to start from the beginning. So the race started at 6 a.m. I woke up at about 3 a.m. I believe, 3:30, and then we got to the place at around 5. If you're doing this, the map will say it'll take you an hour 45, hour 50 minutes from Hurricane. That's where we were staying at, and it's a lie. The road to Apple Valley is, I think it's like 15 minutes or something like 15-20 minutes, and then the dirt road is just 2 miles down. So I don't know why that's what the GPS is gonna say, so don't worry, you will make it in time and you don't have to wake up super early. But before I continue, I just want to talk about people that are going there to pick up their bib the day prior. So when you get there, it's a pretty big area, dirt roads. I highly recommend driving an SUV of some sort, or a truck, or even a van. I saw people driving in small cars and they were struggling because the roads were pretty much washboard the whole way. You get there, you pick up your bib. The left side is going to be where people are selling t-shirts, stickers, whatever. And on the right side, it's just going to be like gnarly nutrition, giving out free drinks. And to pick up your bib is on the right side. They have big signs. Everything is very well put. And then your drop-off bags are going to be pretty much almost in the front middle of the whole area before you actually walk in and be all around the vendors. And there's little signs that'll say 100K, 100 miler, and where you want to drop it off. So if you want to drop it off at like Virgin Aid Station, then you just write that on there and then put it in the little square. It's all roped off. It's pretty easy to actually put your stuff down. Race started. You go up, you make a left, and then you make another left. Be careful. I think you cross 2 cattle gates. I don't know what they're called, but they're on the ground. The first one, they put a piece of wood on there so people walk through, and the second one, they kind of made a little opening on the left side to go through. But the first 4 or 5 miles getting to the aid station, it's pretty mellow. It's just dirt roads. It's like hilly. There's some parts that kind of go down and dips down pretty well, and then it goes up. And then once you get to the aid station, the aid stations are stacked. This is my first time going to an event like this, but I've heard some aid stations are really bad. Even the aid station in the middle of this like bike trail area where you could only get there in either like ATVs or bikes, it was super stacked. So if you want to bring food, you can, but in my personal opinion, if I were to do this again, I probably would only bring gels inside of the drop bags, and then possibly sweaters if you want to. But I wore a nice run shirt with like a long sleeve on my arms, and then in the afternoon when it got colder, then I wore a little running jacket. So your first loop is going to be around Gooseberry. I think that's what it's called. The terrain there is kind of technical, not technical. Some areas it's pretty flat where you can jog it out, but then in some areas it's pretty rocky. So from Goosebump Aid, that's about 5 miles from the start line, and then your next one is at mile 14. That's going to be at Gooseberry Aid. That's the part where it's going to be rocky, up and down, but the views, the whole time, this whole run, your views are amazing. After the Gooseberry Aid Station, you go back again at mile 17 at the Goosebump Aid Station, and that is at the top of the mesa, and that is when you go down this big hill. And I gotta tell you guys, I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube, looked online, and people have said, oh yeah, that hill's pretty challenging. If you're not elite, like these people that are finishing these races in like 15 hours or less, I think that's elite in my opinion. But this hill, I'm gonna put a picture up of the elevation gain and all that stuff. When you're going down, I highly recommend bringing poles, because I slipped and I fell and my knee started hurting. And this was mile, I don't know, 18, 19 maybe, going down this hill. Yeah, this hill is pretty gnarly. And once you get down to the desert area, it gets really, really hot. Luckily for us, there was a little bit of wind, but that part of the trail, after going down the super steep hill, which is very rocky by the way, and at mile 19, which is just after that hill, there's a water station. Please fill up at that water station. No one knows how the weather's gonna be like. I think a couple of years ago it was raining and then it was very cold. But the past couple of years I've heard that it's been pretty warm. And last year it was around the same temperature, like 80s, 86, something around there. But I don't think they had any wind. So mile 19 is the last water station, and then the next one is, I believe, at mile 25, and that's where your crew can meet you. And they also have a small aid station there too with water and stuff. And the terrain in that part, which is the virgin desert, the first part of it is going to be just up and down. Up and down, just rolling hills, up and down, and there's going to be some pretty steep inclines. After you see your crew, there's the Virgin Aid Station, which I think was the best aid station in my opinion, because they were serving chicken and rice and like chicken quesadillas, which was really good. After that, you go down a little bit and kind of like snake through the desert area, and again, it's really hot. And then you come out on this road, and then on that main road there's a water station. Fill up there also. So when you come out from the little bike trail area to that main road, you're going to be around 31 miles, 32, and you won't see the water station until mile 36. The next one is going to be Goosebump Aid, and it's going to be back up that hill. I'm going to put some videos up right now just to give you guys an idea of how steep that was. If you're training for it next year, go to your nearest mountain, that's the tallest mountain, and then just go up and down. Do those hill repeats probably like 100 times, because you're going to need it for sure. I was hoping that they had some KT tape, but they didn't. But the guy gave me some Tylenol, and I got like 6 Oreo cookies, some pickle juice. I don't really drink pickle juice, but I guess it helps with cramps. So I was like, cool, I'll try it out. And then I had a handful of Ruffles, and then I had like 2 bananas, and then I went back to mile 42, which is pretty much where you start. And I was there with my crew, and they helped me out, got ready for the remaining, was it 20 miles, and then we went back out. So from there you go down to, I believe, Grafton Mesa. It's at mile 44. You could stop at that aid station if you want to, but you don't have to. I think you do need to cross the little area where it reads your bib in your time, and then you have to cross back out. They do have restrooms, and again, it's fully stocked. But also, don't be that person that did that loop first, because there was some guy who did that first loop, which is about 5 miles, and then he's like, yeah, I have to go down and do the bottom one, which I think was 11 miles or something like that, or 8-mile loop. So Grafton Mesa, get your food, get your drinks, go use the restroom, and then head back down. Once you get down to the bottom, you're gonna hit Wire Mesa. Wire Mesa is pretty flat for the most part. At this part of the race, it was really dark whenever I was running through it. So we had our headlamps, and it was a pretty cool, mellow trail. There were some like rocky, technical areas, but it wasn't too crazy. And then that road going from Grafton to Wire Mesa, if you're going down, it's amazing, because it's literally down. It's like downhill, you have a couple uphills, you know, but it's like a good descent, so you can, you know, slightly jog it. But on the way up, you're gonna have to power through that thing. And from Wire Mesa, you go all the way back up, and then you do that loop again at Grafton Mesa. And that is a very technical one. There were some spots where my brother and I, my brother paced me, he was telling me, all right, stop, I have to go up, and then he would grab onto a couple rocks and went up. There was a couple spots like that, but it was kind of mellow in the beginning. Towards the end, I thought I was done climbing, but we were still climbing. And from there, you go back to the Grafton aid station, and then you have about 1.25 miles left. And yeah, you go up the hill, and you're gonna see the cars, the lights, you're gonna hear the music, you make a right, and then you cross the finish line. So overall, the weather, be prepared for it being hot. Also be prepared for it being windy. I forgot to mention that earlier. It was very windy. I'm still kind of feeling like some dust in my lungs or something. I haven't been able to breathe that well. So bring like something that will cover your mouth. Bring a mask. So all of the aid stations and all the water stations were very well planned out. They're about no more than 4 or 5 miles apart. I think the farthest one is your first aid station. I think it's like from Goosebump to like Gooseberry. I think it took about 9 miles. I might have those flip-flop, but yeah, it was 9 miles, but I think that was the longest one. Everything else was like 3, 4, 5 miles away. So this concludes my 100K recap. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you haven't yet, check out our other videos. We're building out a bus, super fun, and possibly might train while we're in the bus. So thank you guys again for watching. Follow us on our social media.